Hey, this is video 2 of MPACC Co-op. Okay, so I just want to tell you how much I love IEW, and I am a firm believer in the program. It offers opportunities for critical thinking, expanding vocabulary, organization of both thoughts and workspace, accountability, and following directions. It's also not just about writing. It includes grammar, vocabulary, public speaking, and literature. Having said that, I would still encourage further study at home of spelling to aid your child's writing, and if needed, refine their handwriting, not just for neatness, but to write efficiently. Your child might also be typing already, so they are free to submit their final draft in this way. However, they will still be using a pen regularly and will need to bring one to class. Also, while grammar is a big part of writing, you might want to get into it in more depth at home to grow this subject more proficiently. When the writing assignments do start coming, you can expect a few things that will be helpful to understand. There's always a checklist that goes along with every paper. It makes it really easy to see what's expected, and then you can check it off as you see they've included what they're supposed to. The dress-ups and sentence openers always need to be marked on the paper itself so that it pops off the page and everyone can see that it's there. The rough draft always comes first. It's supposed to look messy. That's okay. It should be done in pen, and every other line is skipped to allow room for corrections. Depending on the assignment, I may be editing it, or someone at home will need to. Every writer needs an editor, and this is not a judgment on the student. I really try to drill this in class. Even writers that have written 20 successful books always have an editor. So as a general rule, as an editor, make the paper grammatically legal. However, refrain from meddling with the content. We don't want to discourage, but encourage praise. If your child doesn't know how to spell a word, just tell them. And I know that it's our first inclination to have them look it up in the dictionary or whatever, but then that stops their train of thought. Then they have to come back to the thinking of the writing and all that, and it makes it too difficult. Maybe start a list on the side of spelling words that they're having trouble with, and then tackle that during a spelling lesson. Just focus on the writing and the creativity there. And then when the rough draft is where all the changes are made, so that the final draft is what gets turned in. Other than the dress-ups and sentence openers being marked, this is the copy that should be perfect and neat. I will send some examples this year of what it might look like, which might be especially helpful for those that are new to the program. Okay, so especially for the parents of my younger students, children who struggle with the tediousness of pushing a pencil should not let that interfere with learning the thinking skills. If the creativity is there, but the physical writing is difficult, students may dictate their paragraph to you on one day, and you can write their story on a whiteboard or paper, and then give your child the rest of the week to copy it, maybe 3 sentences per day. In other words, don't expect them to write it all in one sitting. This is also helpful in teaching kids spelling, punctuation, and capitalization, because they will see that these things, how they're done properly. As they copy it, they will learn it. Also at that age, few children know how to type, so printing or handwriting is fine, especially for the rough draft. If moms want to type the final draft after the student has perfected that rough draft, that's fine. Children who struggle with creativity and vocabulary can be helped if parents spend time with them on brainstorming pages in the book. Teach them to use the student resource packet, the sheets that the older kids, the 5, 6 should have the student resource packet. And then the younger kids, I'll be handing out sheets as we go along for them to keep in their binder. Also help them become familiar with a thesaurus or like an actual book or an app, whatever. Institute for Excellence in Writing also has a light version of an app. It is free, so if at home they are using some sort of smartphone or iPad or whatever, that can be helpful too. Have fun and don't stress when you're helping your kids with writing. The goal is to enjoy the process. A big help to this is not waiting until the day before class to begin. So spread the work over several days. Expect to schedule at least 3 days for writing each week. I'll send the homework assignment by text, but challenge your child to take responsibility for this too. The day before class, Please check over the homework to make sure that it's complete and everything on the checklist is labeled. I do want parents to initial it that they have seen the final draft, they've looked it all over, and it looks great. So that is all for now, and please don't feel overwhelmed. You can come back to this as we get into it to kind of be reminded of it as we go along. If you have any questions, please feel free to talk to me about it. And I'm so looking forward to this year, and we're going to have a great time.